Hey guys, just got back from a trip to Lake St. Clair. Figure I'd give you guys a little bit of an update of what the smallmouth are doing and what we saw out there. Kind of like a fishing report for Lake St. Clair. Take that coming from an Ohio boy. Spend a lot of time in Lake St. Clair, so I feel like I got a pretty good idea of what's going on. Kyle and I went to Lake St. Clair last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Uber cold still up there. You're probably looking 50s in the air temperature. But the water temperature right now, the highest we saw was 50.5 degrees. That was in Anchor Bay, and that was on Saturday about 6 o'clock in the evening. 50.5, went back out on Sunday around the same spot. The water temperature had dropped 5 degrees. It was 45 degrees when we got back out there the next morning. It did, the wind blew really hard throughout that whole weekend, cooled the water down. But we did find some fish. They're still a lot deeper. We couldn't get out there. The wind was really, really ripping, so we couldn't go out there and try to chase them. But we did find some fish in Anchor Bay, and we did find the most and biggest fish around the 16-mile area out from the white tent there at Veterans Memorial Park, out in 8 to 12 foot of water. And one day we could get out there a little bit, and we found some fish. The most productive baits at that time at 16 mile was definitely a coffee tube. Any kind of tube would work, I'd imagine. We're throwing a 1/4 ounce head with a coffee tube. I was throwing it on a spinning rod, obviously. Most people like to throw it on a casting rod. Definitely preference there. But the most fish we caught came on a swim bait, and I was throwing this Picasso. This is a Smallmouth Plus. Has a 2-aught. I was actually throwing the 3-aught. My 3-aught ones are down in my travel bag in my other garage. But this is a green gizzard shad, and the head of it is the green gizzard shad collar. We were throwing these 4.5-inch swing impact Kitex. This is called Sight Flash. This is one of the ones we were throwing. But most of the fish came on this exact same bait, but in a 4-inch version. This is a Kitex Easy Shiner. It's a little thinner profile. Again, this is a 3-inch version. We were throwing the 4-inch version, which is quite a bit, substantially longer than this. 1 inch makes a huge difference. But this is electric shad. Again, throwing both of these on 3/8 ounce heads. And when we could find rocks, we were catching fish. And they're just now starting to pull up on these rock piles and things. So you may go there and you may cast that same rock pile 40 times before you catch a fish. But you could stay there spot lock pretty much and catch fish on those rock piles all day. They're just moving. Obviously, smallmouth are nomadic. So they're coming around. They're obviously feeding up, trying to get ready to spawn. Water temperature being 45 to 50 degrees, obviously a little early for that, but it won't be long. Fish are going to start moving up more shallow, and they're going to be feeding for the spawn, and they are easily caught on moving baits. So don't overlook the swim bait. Kitex are my favorite, obviously. I like these. These are tungsten Picasso Smallmouth Plus. They are green gizzard shad. Again, I like them because they're a little smaller profile. The 2-aught's pretty good, but I do like to throw the 3-aught. This time last year, we absolutely smashed them on flat-sided crankbaits. Something like this, Fritside Junior here, Fritside 5 Junior, sorry. And the biggest producer last year was going to be, definitely this time of year in crankbait-wise, was a Spro Little John Type R, and you could pretty much throw any collar that you want in that. They were absolutely smashing it. So it's just going to keep getting better and better over the next couple weeks. Obviously, we're going to have fish moving up to spawn, early May there through, all of May. You're going to have consistent spawning action. You're going to have new females roaming around, males building beds, obviously. And it seems to me like, my personal opinion, you find the bigger fish bedding in deeper water. So if you can find beds that are in deeper water, you got a pretty good chance of catching a fish of a lifetime. But over the next couple weeks, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not throwing swim baits, crankbaits, and tubes. So again, my quick little fishing report here for Lake St. Clair for this past weekend. So if you're local or you're trying to get up there, trying to plan a trip, water temperature right now is 45 to 50, probably 51 degrees right now. It's going to be warm all this week. But, it was a good time. We didn't smash them. It wasn't Lake St. Clair like we normally see it, but it was actually a good time. We got up there and caught some fish, which was, we knew we were going to be early this week, but I was on spring break. Kyle had some time off, so we decided why not. So guys, if you like content like this and you want to see my actual trip from Lake St. Clair, I'll be posting that in a day or so. So if you're seeing this and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd appreciate it if you would. It would help me out a lot. I'm headed for that 5,000 subscriber mark, and I can't do it without people just like you. So again, Picasso heads, Kitex swing impacts, and the Kitech Easy Shiners. This was the best bait, the thinner profile, but again, electric shad in the 4-inch version. So again, guys, if you can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.